What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Well, I know last video and this video may be a week apart, but in all actuality it's been a couple of weeks since I actually filmed it, and I'm going to kind of show you why I had to wait a little while. Mainly it's because, as I told you in the last video, I was talking with a company about the actual gas tank that I was thinking about going with. Well, I ended up going with the gas tank, but that caused a lot more issues. And in this video, I'm going to kind of give you an update, kind of give you a brief introduction to the gas tank and everything, and some of the other problems that I'm having. So without further ado, let me show you the bike. So as far as the wiring is concerned, I've got most of the wiring done. It's one of those that I finally got my actual starter relay done. I was waiting on a connector that finally come in today to get the actual plug where it would work. And then on my grounds, you see I've got all the grounds connected. I kind of wanted to do something different here, but this kind of worked out. I've got one main ground wire right here that's actually coming all the way down here to the actual ground lug, and I kind of like that a little better because it's a little neater down there. And so I've got, like I said, a bigger wire here for all the different grounds as far as your brake light, your headlight, and just different ground wires in itself. As you can see, I've got most of the actual fuses kind of ran for the wire. The one right here I'm waiting on is for the actual brake light itself, because of the fact that I don't have that wire in yet. I do have the brake run light, as you can see. I've already got that ran, and then I've got most of the wiring up here done. Besides the actual headlight itself, I got the wire right here up here for the headlight, but I just don't have the actual plug right here wired in because I'm waiting on a switch that is going to be somewhere in here. I think it's going to work, but I'm going to kind of hold off on telling y'all about that till I make sure it's going to work. But I got, as you can see, I got most of the wire done. One of the issues with this gas tank, and one reason why I've kind of waited to actually show you where I was at, is because I had to redo a lot of this wiring right here because I was kind of going down here, but with the gas tank I went with, it was kind of in the way. So I had to do a lot of different pulling of wires, and then also the gauges are made a little different, and so that's another reason why I kind of had to redo a lot of this wiring. So I kind of wanted to show you a little bit closer the actual wiring on the fuse panel. It's one of those where I've kind of changed the circuits up a little bit because I didn't really like how Harley had the actual brake light tied with the actual gauges, and so I've kind of broken those two out. I actually have the actual tail light as far as the run portion of it and the brake light on a separate circuit, and like I said, the gauges are in on its own circuit and the coils, and then I had to run actual wire over here for the actual speed sensor because the way these gauges are set up, you just need the sensor wire up there and it doesn't supply the 12 volts, so I had to run a wire over here for the speed sensor. I think I showed you in the last video where I've got the actual key right here. It works pretty good, I think. I have tested it, not with the battery on and everything, but I have tested it as far as a voltmeter is concerned, and I ran some longer, newer battery cables, and then as you can see, I've got my main fuse down here, which is going to be the only pain in the butt if I actually blow that fuse, because the way I've got everything, I'd have to remove the battery and the battery holder right here just to change that fuse out. But that's kind of the easiest way to put it, and I kind of didn't really want a real long circuit on that, as far as where the actual the length of the wire, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that's where we are as far as the wiring is concerned. Without further ado, I guess let me show you the gas tank and the gauges. Alright, so here's the gas tank with the gauges. The gas tank is a Ultima gas tank, it does have the petcock on the left hand side. That's one of the things I'm still kind of in the process of figuring out, is what I'm going to do as far as the petcock is concerned, because so the petcock is real close to going to be right here in this area next to the coils, and I don't really know if I'm going to have enough clearance to kind of work with the hose to get it over there on the other side. But that's the reason why I was kind of looking to get one on the right hand side, because I'm going to try to move it if I don't have enough clearance over here. But the actual stock Harley breather is kind of in the way on this side, and I've been wanting to get an S&S carburetor, which has a lot smaller breather, and I could get another breather and just leave the CV carburetor on here, but I've been really wanting an actual S&S carburetor. But at the same time, with the amount of money I've spent so far, I really don't have that kind of in the budget to get the S&S right now, but I am wanting to get one in the future. But that's one reason why I was wanting to get a right-hand petcock, is for clearance. But once again, I'm still fighting with this, but I may be able to put it kind of right here or right here. I'm waiting for the petcock that I ordered to come in before I actually make that determination. So as far as gauges is concerned, I went with the AutoMeter gauges, and it was one of those I kind of like it because I've got everything right here. As you can see, I've got my speedometer on top, I've got my RPMs on the bottom, and right here I actually have where my actual neutral, my oil light, my headlight, and blinker light would be right here if I was using it, but I'm not going to be using any kind of blinkers or everything. But I kind of like that it's all self-contained into one unit. But this right here causes another issue. Let me kind of set the tank on the bike, and I'll show you that right now. Alright, so here's the gas tank kind of sitting on the bike. It's not really exactly where it goes, but it's kind of good enough for what I'm wanting to show you. The actual handlebars, I'm going to have to get some different risers, because as you can see, I have no clearance right here with these type of risers, and I really like my Z-bars, and I'm wanting to keep my Z-bars on here. And so I'm going to have to get some longer risers to actually clear right here, but I think it's going to be okay. As kind of going back to the petcock issue, you kind of see, like I said, it's not really exactly where it is, but I got a little bit of room right here that I can put it, and maybe back in here if I've got enough clearance right here inside the tank to actually put in there. And over on this side, right here is where the petcock comes out, and I may have enough room to sneak a hose over there, but I'm not 100% sure until it actually comes in, and it should be in here in the next couple of days. The actual choke I'm gonna have to kind of leave hanging over here for right now. I know it's kind of a little ghetto, but at the same time, the actual choke relocation plate that I had is not going to work with the stock actual breather once again, because it mounts on top of the actual carburetor, and you can see I have no clearance in there whatsoever. So that's the update I've got on the actual Sportster as far as kind of where I'm at on everything. I am going to do a more of an in-depth video on the actual gas tank and gauge install. It's one of those that I kind of wanted to put that as a separate video, because I kind of want to show you some of the issues I'm having with mounting the gauges to the actual gas tank, and some of the wiring as far as what all that's concerned and everything. I kind of gave you a little update as far as the speed sensor is concerned, but you know, there's some other stuff that I'm going to have to do in order to get that to work like I'm wanting it to and everything. But yeah, that's kind of all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed this cool update and everything, and if you did, give me a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. And until the next video, see ya!